are you, grade 9? I hope you're fine and safe at home. We're going to complete our lessons. This is the last lesson for this quarter. We're going to take part of it today, and next session we're going to take the exercise of it, okay? Then we're going to start after this the revision week, okay? So chapter 9, lesson 9.9, the quadratic formula and discriminant. Let's see what we said before. We solved before the quadratic formula or quadratic equation by many methods. But do you know what? This method is the king or the queen of all methods. This always work. This solution, this formula always work for any quadratic formulas. If I have ax power 2 plus bx plus c equals 0, so we can derive the quadratic formula from it, okay? To solve this equation and get the value of the x, you must study and just reserve it in your mind very carefully, this one. X equals what? Negative b, plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4ac over 2a. Again, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4ac over 2a. It's so important for me. You must just study it so carefully. What's a? A is the coefficient of x power 2. What's b? B is a coefficient of x. What's c? C is the constant term. Okay? Constant term. Okay? Very good. Let's see how to solve it. If I have equation like this, 2x power 2 plus 3x minus 5 equals 0, what I'm going to do, I'm going to identify first the a and b and c. What's a? A is 2. What's b? B is 3. What's c? Negative 5. Take care. Negative 5. You must take the term by its sign. Take the term by its sign. Okay? Then x equals, well, you study the formula. You must memorize it. You must memorize it, please. Okay? Negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4ac over 2a. Okay? Very good. So it will be what? Let's write it again. Let's write it again. A is 2. B is 3. C is negative 5. We're going just to substitute in the formula. Substitute in the formula. So negative b, so negative 3. Plus or minus square root b power 2, 3 power 2, minus 4a is 2. 4ac means 4 times a times c. 4ac means 4 times a times c. Okay? Over 2a, 2 times a, which is 2. Then all of this you can do it with calculator. Do it with calculator, okay? Okay. Or you can simplify it, so simplify it, as you like. Using calculator or simplify it step by step. Okay? So we'll have that x equals 1 and x equals, here. After you're going to tell me, Miss, how can I put plus or minus in the calculator? You are not going to put plus or minus in the calculator. As we said, if I have plus or minus, I'm going to split my paper into 2 parts and solve the equation with positive value once and with negative value in the other equation. Okay? So negative 3 plus or minus 7 over 4. I'm going to take negative 3 plus 7 over 4 and negative 3 minus 7 over 4. Solving for x, I'm going to have x equals 1. And solving here for x, I'm going to have x equal negative 5 over 2. Okay? So you can just take the numbers under the square root. The part under the square root, which called discriminant, I can make it with calculator. Okay? Directly. Okay? Very good. Let's see this one. You're going to tell me, Miss, it's not in the formula. Yes, it's not in the formula. So we must put it into the formula. How? We're going to take 2x to the other side with negative. Okay? So x power 2 plus negative. Don't forget, 2x plus negative 3 equals 0. I just arrange it. Arrange it by taking the highest power first. Okay? Very good. So what's the a? The a is 1. And what's the b? The b is negative 2. And what's the c? The c is negative 3. Now I'm going to substitute in the formula. Do you remember the formula? Yes, negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 negative 4 ac over 2a. You must memorize it. You must memorize, so important. Okay, very good. Substitute here, and try to simplify the discriminant. What is the discriminant? That is the term that's under the square root. The term which under the square root is called discriminant. Okay, I'm going to simplify it till it became here like this: 2 plus or minus 4 over 2. Very good. I'm going to divide or split my paper into 2 parts and solve it by 2 ways. Once with plus and the other one with minus. So here x equals 3 and here x equals negative 1. Very good. Let's take another. Many quadratic equation can be solved by graphing, factorizing, taking square root, or completing the square. Some cannot be solved by these methods, but you can always depend on the queen formula. Not quadratic formula. I will name it as a queen formula. It can solve any quadratic equation. Okay? So quadratic formula is the queen here. Okay? So what's the quadratic formula again? Yalla, memorize it with me. Tell me, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4 ac over 2a. Don't forget it. Okay? So important formula. Then I'm going to simplify the part which is down under the square root, the discriminant. Okay? So 2 plus or minus square root 20 over 2. Of course, I don't have square root 20. Leave it as it is. And solve the equation. Solve by 2 equations. Split your paper. One was positive and the other was negative. And of course here, because I have a square root, I will get the answer by the calculator and simplify it, or sorry, round it to the nearest what? Hundredth. Round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay? Look here. The first value is 3.24 and this is negative 1.24. Okay? Very good. So I told you that if the quadratic equation is in a standard form, the discriminant of the quadratic equation, what we said about the discriminant, is the part which is under the square root or under the radical sign. Okay, so what's the meaning of radical sign? Radical sign is the square root. Okay, so the part which is under the square root or the radical sign, p power 2 minus 4ac, is called what? Discriminant. Is called what? Discriminant. Okay, very good. From the discriminant, I can tell you if this function will give you 2 solutions or 1 solution or there is no solution. How we're going to do this without solving the equation, without even solving the equation? I can tell you if you have 2 solutions, 1 solution or no solution. How to do it? I'm going to take the discriminant and solve it. B power 2 minus 4ac. Solve it and get its value by substituting here. What is the A? A is 1 and B negative 4 and C plus 3. Okay, so I'm going to substitute here in the discriminant. And what we said about the discriminant, It is the expression which under the radical sign or under the square root p power 2 minus 4 ac. Very good. So it's 4. If it's positive, if this number is positive, then you have two real solutions. Or your parabola intersect the x-axis in 2 points. Okay? But what about if my discriminant equals 0? If my discriminant equals 0, so you have only one solution. The parabola intersects the x-axis in a 1 point. What about if my discriminant is negative? Discriminant is negative. Discriminant which is under the square root. We said what? Square root of a negative, no real solution. Remember? Square root of a negative, no real solution. So if my discriminant is negative, so no real solution. Again, what is the discriminant? It's the expression under the radical sign or under the square root, which is b power 2 minus 4ac. If I evaluate this part and I find it's positive, so I have two real solutions. If it's 0, I have one solution, one real solution. If I have negative, so it's a no real solution. Okay? So here, if my discriminant greater than 0, two real solutions. Equal 0, one real solution. Smaller than 0, no real solutions. Okay, as here, what's my A is 3, B is 10, C is 2. I'm going to get the discriminant, say with me, p power 2, minus 4 AC, and substitute. I have positive, so I have two real solutions. Here, what's my A? 9. What's the B? Negative 6. What's the C? Plus 1. What is the discriminant? B power 2 minus 4 AC. You must memorize it very carefully. So after I simplify it or do it with calculator, so you'll find it 0. So it's one real solution. Here, again, b power 2 minus 4 AC. And I substitute by their values. I find it's negative. Negative, so no real solution. Okay? Okay, we're going to complete our lesson next session and we're going to solve exercises. Thank you very much. Grade 9, see you later.